Peptides for tendon and soft tissue healing, hype or evidence? If you've come across claims that peptides can accelerate tendon healing, this video aims to explain what the evidence does and doesn't support. So we're going to dig into the science, talk about the safety concerns, and look at the alternatives that are actually proven to work. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, first things first, what are we even talking about here? You've probably seen peptides popping up all over the internet, especially when it comes to injuries. So let's break down what they are and figure out why there's so much excitement around them. So at its simplest, a peptide is just a little chain of amino acids. And amino acids, as you know, are the building blocks of all the proteins in your body. But the really cool thing about peptides is that they act like tiny signaling molecules. Think of them like specific text messages being sent around your body, giving your cells very direct instructions on what to do, whether that's to build new tissue, to start repairing something, or even to just calm things down. And this is where all the hype comes from. It's all built on a very real, very promising idea that we see in what are called preclinical studies. So we're talking about experiments in lab dishes and in animals. In that setting, some peptides seem to be able to kickstart the healing process in some incredible ways. We're talking about promoting new blood vessel growth, signaling healing cells to rush to the injury site, tamping down inflammation, and even helping to rebuild collagen. I mean, it all sounds incredibly promising, right? But here's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Does that amazing promise we see in the lab actually translate to healing injuries in real, living people? This is where we need to follow the evidence and see where it leads. And this is where we see a huge gap. On one side, you've got all these animal studies showing that peptides can improve healing for all kinds of tissues. But then you look to the other side at the human trials, and the evidence is, well, almost non-existent. The big high-quality studies just aren't there. When researchers compile all the available human data, they find it's largely unvalidated. We simply don't have the solid proof we need to say they actually work for these injuries in people. And this brings us to the scientific consensus. It's not just one study. Multiple major reviews that look at all the research have reached the exact same, very clear conclusion. Right now, there is a lack of high-quality clinical evidence to support using these peptides for muscle, tendon, or ligament problems in humans. The potential is there, but the proof just isn't. So, beyond the question of do they work, there's an even more fundamental one. Are they safe? And this brings us to a really important reality check on the safety and regulatory side of things, a topic that honestly gets skipped over way too often in online discussions. And look, this isn't just an opinion. This is a direct quote from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. They've put many of these popular peptides into a special category because, in their own words, they just don't have enough information to know if these substances could cause harm in people. That's a pretty big statement. That Category 2 status is a huge red flag. It means that it's illegal for compounding pharmacies to prepare them for you to use. This, in turn, pushes people toward a completely unregulated market, where you really have no idea what you're getting. Is it pure? Is it contaminated? Is the dose even correct? And there's a reason they're banned by basically every major sporting organization on the planet, from the World Anti-Doping Agency to the NFL. The bottom line is, we have no clinical safety data, so the long-term effects on humans are a total unknown. Okay, so if peptides aren't the evidence-backed answer right now, what is? Let's switch gears and talk about the foundation of healing, the strategies that we know work because the science is there to back them up. You know, for many common and frustrating tendon injuries, the absolute gold standard of care isn't a substance at all. It's not a pill, not an injection. It's a carefully designed process. It's called progressive tendon loading exercise, and it's the #1 first-line treatment recommended by experts because it's supported by a mountain of high-quality evidence. And I want to be clear, this isn't just go do some exercises. It's a really smart, structured 4-stage program. It starts with specific exercises like static holds to manage and reduce pain. From there, you build up to isotonic exercises. Think lifts to build real strength and capacity back into the tendon and muscle. Then you introduce more dynamic, explosive movements to get the tendon ready for impact again. And it all culminates in a gradual, safe return to the actual activities and sports you love to do. It's a logical, science-backed progression. And the data tells the story. When researchers actually compared this progressive loading approach to older rehab methods, the results were night and day. 43% of people doing progressive loading got back to their sport at their old level, compared to just 27% in the other group. And patient satisfaction, it was nearly 4 times higher. This isn't hype. This is just a proven, more effective way to get back on your feet.
So let's bring this all home. Let's put everything we've talked about together and boil it down to the final, most important takeaway.
When you lay it all out side by side, the picture is just crystal clear. With peptide therapy, the human evidence is either low quality or completely missing, and the safety status is unknown and unregulated. On the other hand, with progressive loading rehab, the evidence is high quality, it's backed by the best kind of scientific trials, and its safety is well established. It's a stark contrast between an interesting idea and a proven therapy.
So the crucial point is this. Peptides are an absolutely fascinating area of research, and one day they might be a really important tool in our toolbox, but that's the future. For anyone dealing with a tendon injury today, the foundation of recovery isn't a shortcut. It's built on time, patience, and a commitment to structured, evidence-based rehab.
And that really leaves us with just one final question for you to think about. When it comes to your own health and your own recovery, what are you going to prioritize, the latest hype or the strongest evidence?